Good evening and welcome to Bermuda's News and Views. I'm your host, Don Burgess, and this evening I have the pleasure of having a great co-host, my friend, Katora Horton Parent-Chief. Welcome, Katora.
Hi, thank you.
Okay. And then we have this person who's kind of a big deal at the moment, Flora Duffy. Welcome, Flora.
Hi, thank you for having me on.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now, in case you've been living under a rock here in Bermuda over the last week or so, Flora won this little thing called an Olympic gold medal in the women's triathlon. So we're here to help celebrate your victory. A week late, but here we are. So, Flora, why don't we start with what has been the media hype and publicity that you've gotten since then? It seems like it's been nonstop.
Yeah, thanks. It has been crazy since I crossed that line a week ago. I can't believe it's been a week already. But yeah, I mean, I was prepared for everything in the race, and I mean, of course, my goal was to win, but I didn't know what would happen if I won, and I definitely wasn't prepared for it. And it's been crazy ever since I've crossed that line. Such a whirlwind. But I mean, yeah, I'm just like feel so, I don't know, grateful and for all of the support. It's been, yeah, as I said, so overwhelming and amazing. And yeah, I really can't believe it. It's just so cool to see how proud everyone in Bermuda is and excited, and actually even all around the world. Like I just, yeah, didn't think the reach of Olympic gold was as big as it is. But I have to say the craziest was when I woke up one day and I looked on my Instagram and there was a video from Michael Douglas. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is getting like really out of hand now.
You're a much bigger deal than Michael Douglas, just letting you know.
And of course, like what sort of things have you been getting back from people here in Bermuda and Bermudians across the globe?
Yeah, I mean, everyone is just so excited, and I guess it's nice that they, everyone is, I mean, a similar reaction to me has been very emotional. People have told me how they're screaming at their TVs, how they've been crying, and just immense, I guess, pride to be Bermudian, to see a Bermudian on the world stage. Just excitement. I mean, when I crossed the line and I was in the mixed zone doing some media interviews, my brother called Dan. And so Dan came over with a video call from my brother, who was at the Docksider with my parents and a bunch of his friends. And they definitely had a few drinks. And just to see like them singing and chanting and just screaming, like it was just wild. And I mean, my mind was so focused on the race that I didn't even think about what the reaction would be. And so to see that, to step back and just kind of like take it in a little was just, yeah, so crazy.
Now, for those people who don't know, Dan's your husband, coach, all around great guy to help you out. How is him being a part of your life and being with you in Tokyo really like one of the few people who were able to celebrate with you at the moment? What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing to have Dan there, be there as my coach. He comes to all of my races. He's not my, I would say, official coach, but he does play a major role in my like team, that team of people that help me do this triathlon lifestyle. And so to have him there, I mean, he's kind of like my favorite person in the world. So to have him at the most important event of my life, he's like the only person, that can keep me calm. And to have him there is kind of really everything. And he makes everything happen. And I just have to focus on performing at the race, which just makes a massive, massive difference to have him and to have the level of support that I've had going into this event.
Did you, Flora, the part, the no spectator part? I mean, I know you have Dan. I know you had some of our BOA folk and few athletes there. What was that? Was it different? Was the atmosphere different? I mean, did it help with nerves? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was definitely very strange not to have a crowd. I mean, at Olympic Games, you're always guaranteed a massive crowd. And there's a giant grandstand that overlooked transition and the finish area, which is usually packed with people. So, every time you would ride through, music would play and the crowd would cheer. And even when you're out around the course, it's usually lined with people. So it was definitely very different that it was so quiet. But I mean, I did a few races last year and no crowds were allowed. So I was sort of introduced to what it would be like. But I mean, at Olympic Games, it's definitely kind of strange. But I mean, in a way, I guess it helped. You could stay very focused. There was nothing distracting going on. But at the same time, when I was running down the finishing chute and there wasn't like a giant crowd, it was a little strange. It didn't really take away from the moment, though. It was nice. The whole BOA crew were there, and they were easy to spot. And, that was really nice.
Wonderful.
What did Dan say to you on the morning of the race the last time he was able to talk to you before you started?
That's a good question. I probably actually can't remember. I think he was actually maybe equally as nervous as I was, or maybe even more nervous. So I don't think too many words were exchanged, but I don't know. I guess he would usually just, tell me something of like, that he believes in me and that I can do this just to go get it done. And I mean, he doesn't really need to say much sort of morning of. I think it's like everything that he's helped me with or said in the week leading up to the race that's given me the confidence, not just him, but my coaching team as well.
Now, were you more nervous for this race compared to some of the other Olympics, or was it about the same? Because like on this one, most of the readings that I had for predictions of who the winner was going to be, your name was at the top of that list.
Yeah.
And in some cases, they had panels of 5 or 6 people, and they all picked you. So how did that add to maybe any pressure that you were feeling? Or did you try to ignore that sort of stuff?
Yeah, no. I mean, this Olympics compared to any other one I've been to or any other race, I was like 1,000 times more nervous. I've said to Dan many times, like multiple times leading into the race, I was like, I hope I never have to deal with this amount of pressure and expectation again in my career, because it was a lot. And then, I can remember when I got to Tokyo, I just tried to keep myself as calm as possible. And just, I work with a sports psych, so I just have a few cues that I try and focus on just to stay as relaxed as I can. But I can remember, so the men raced the day before us, and I woke up that morning to watch their race, and it was the most nervous I was the entire time I was there. Like I woke up and I was kind of like shaking, and I was like, okay, Flora, you got to calm down. Like, it's okay. And then like kind of as my morning went along, I got calmer and everything. But yeah, it was definitely a lot to deal with.
Do you think the pressure came from, needing or wanting to win the Olympics, or was it just something else? Was it this was a different Olympics and you were at the top of everybody's predictions, or was it just the culmination perhaps of your Olympic career, or what were you thinking? Why so much pressure for this one? By the way, if you had finished any kind of place, we would have been just as proud, just as excited. This is just the icing on the cake, but just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, it's always been my dream to win Olympic medal, particularly Olympic gold. And I kind of knew like I'm in the peak of my career. I've won multiple world titles. I knew I was one of the favorites going into this. Instead of a 4-year build, it was a 5-year build. So that can really, an extra year of it looming over you really adds to everything. And then of course there was the piece that I knew that, Bermuda doesn't go into every Olympics with someone that has a legitimate medal hope. So I also knew that there was that piece. I think it's another element when it's added that you're your country's first medal hope in 40 years and you're going in as the favorite. So, I definitely had pressure that I put on myself. I think a bit of expectation from the outside, like triathlon world. And then definitely I felt pressure, not that anyone from Bermuda was like, you have to win gold, but I just knew what it could mean and how special that could be. And so that kind of added to the pressure as well.
Now, you said you went and watched the men's race. the day before, and they had sort of like a start you never see
Yeah.
in triathlon, where the
What the heck?
camera crew actually got out on
Yeah.
the course, and they had to restart the race. And I was really feeling sad for the guys that had swam for 45 seconds before they were able to call them back to the start again, because I was sitting there thinking, what an unfair disadvantage you already have. You've already been out of the course. Did
Yeah.
any of the mistake from the previous day go through your mind when you were there on the line?
No, I wasn't thinking about that at all. I think they'd sorted that out. I think that was more of like an embarrassment and like massive mistake by the local organizing committee that they definitely weren't going to let that happen again. But yeah, so I was watching the men's race on TV. Dan went down to the venue. So like watching what happened, I've never seen that in a triathlon start before. So I just could not believe it. But yeah, I'm super glad our start was very smooth. The only crazy thing about our race was the conditions, which were totally unexpected. But yeah, that was like.
You mean the rain, or because we all expected a typhoon?
I know. Well, we got told 2 days before the race at the briefing, they're like, oh, by the way, there's a typhoon passing and your race might be delayed 2 days. We were all like, what?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But then at the same time, I was like, well, we've already been delayed a year. What's 2 more days? But
I'm glad it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because I mean, people are preparing for that day. So
yeah.
Did that change any of your tactics at all? The conditions?
The conditions. Oh, sorry. I just need to call Dan over here because his computer battery is about to die.
Plug in, Dan.
No.
What is going on? It's so hard to get good help.
Frantically looking for the charger. But yeah, so the conditions were definitely totally opposite of what we were expecting. We were expecting sunny, hot, humid. I mean, it was pretty humid on race day, but not like what we had. With the storm passing, it was rainy, windy, much cooler. In fact, before the start, I was trying to stay warm versus trying to stay cool, which never entered my mind would be a possibility of racing in Tokyo in the summer. So kind of once the swim was like a big key for me, that once I came out in the right position, that onto the bike, I was luckily riding with women that I know are very good bike handlers and they're strong. And so I think we all collectively did not want to crash at the Olympics. And so we were all riding pretty smart, pretty safe. But it did, I guess, maybe change my tactic that I was just going to be a little less aggressive on the bike.
Right.
Because I just, wanted to stay up. And I really backed my running. So I knew I didn't have to be crazy. It was just about like riding smart, riding safe, and getting off in a good position for the run.
Yeah, I think that was different for what we've seen from you before, because you are really an aggressive biker. You're always sort of leading that pack, and you guys sort of jockeyed for space, and you were working as a team. So that was really great to see. But when you came out dominant in the run, we were just, I don't know about you, Dawn, but my tears were flowing. So I'm just, I don't know if that's when you knew, Flora, or when did you start to feel like I'm in command of this race?
Yeah, from pretty early on to the run, like I've raced with these women before, so I sort of know their strengths and weaknesses. And I didn't know that Georgia Taylor Brown had a flat.
Right.
Just in the last 2Ks before transition. So I just took off. I know Katie is someone that likes to build into her 10K. So I thought, okay, if I can maybe take it out a little faster than she wants to, establish a gap, and then settle into my rhythm, that'll hopefully work out pretty well for me. And then with about 5K to go, I was like, in my head, kind of mentally, I was like, okay, well, this is looking pretty good, because there's a lot of spots on the course where you could get visuals to where everyone else was. And, but I mean, a lot can happen in the second half of a 5K and a 10K in a triathlon. So I was like, just stayed focused on my cues that I wanted to think about, grabbed water at every aid station just to, keep my mind focused. And then with about 800 to go, I saw Dan. And that's when I started to I think that's the first time I smiled. and just started to like slowly let it all sink in as I ran the last 800 meters in towards the blue carpet.
What a shock.
What were your emotions there at the finish line? How did you manage to keep yourself together until you crossed?
I think all the emotions were starting to come in as I ran down the blue carpet. But I mean, I think for me, I don't know, I somehow can keep myself fairly composed when I'm like in public. Thankfully, I guess. But I mean, it definitely was like, I don't know, just years of emotions coming up, all the highs and lows, and just kind of couldn't believe I'd actually done it, and was crossing the line and was becoming the Olympic champion. So yeah, I think it was like too much for me to really like comprehend at the time. And I think like kind of as I see people that have been really involved in the journey, it's really started to hit home and get quite emotional for me.
How long did that emotion last that you were like that?
Oh man. I mean, I think I was on a high for like I feel like I still am. Basically from the time I crossed that line to the time I got on the plane, which I finished the race on Tuesday morning, and then I flew out of Tokyo Friday late afternoon. It was just like this nonstop whirlwind. I didn't get much sleep, and I think my social media was going crazy, and like WhatsApp messages and emails and just like everything. And it was just like, I mean, such a crazy experience to take in. And I was just completely buzzing.
Yeah. If you had to give a rough estimate of how many messages you got or received, where would you put that in?
No, I couldn't even comprehend. It's so many. So I'm so thankful and appreciative of all the messages and support that I've gotten. But if I don't get back to you, I'm really sorry. I don't mean it in a mean way. It's just crazy, the amount of messages.
What did Katie and Georgia say to you at the line after they crossed?
I'm not sure what we were talking about. I mean, they both congratulated me and I congratulated them. What was the nicest part of that is that Katie and I are really pretty good friends, and Georgia and I are friends too. So it was really special to be on the podium with two women that you really respect and two women that you're friends with and could really share in that moment. And I know they've both gone through some pretty tough times this year, particularly Katie. Her dad suddenly passed away earlier this year, and then had a really difficult selection getting onto the U.S. team, and just had to deal with a lot. So to see her pull it together and race the way she did at the Olympics was like, I mean, just really cool and special to see. And I don't know, I think at the finish line we were all like full of so many emotions. I don't really know what we were saying to each other, but I think we were all also collectively very relieved.
How much of a weight do you feel is off your shoulder now that you've won this? Because I know, well, I tried to interview you in Brazil, and I was told, no, leave Flora alone. She's feeling too much pressure. But how much now do you feel like that's lifted?
It's definitely a massive weight lifted. I feel a lot lighter, and I don't want to say freer it was a lot of pressure and a lot of expectation, and there's a lot of that I put on myself. But so to achieve that and race the way I did at the Olympics is, great, and definitely is going to make all the racing I have for the rest of the year feel very relaxed and just fun, which will be great.
That's so funny to me that you are the Olympic champion, and you are preparing for WTS, two of them in Canada right now. Like, you don't break, you don't lay down, you're just Olympic champion right into the next meet. So how does that work? This is your career. This is what you do. And can you talk a little bit about going forward from the Olympics?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, this is my career and what I do. And I think the strange part about this year or last year is that because we barely raced last year in COVID, and the prior year I had some injury issues, and at the end of 2018 I had injury issues, I haven't done that much racing in the last 3 years. So the fact that I'm fit and healthy and there's racing opportunities, I'm actually quite excited to race. So yeah, it is a little strange that it's like right after Olympics and I have like quite a few races left, but that's also because I only raced once before the Olympics, due to a lot of races being postponed because of COVID. So it's kind of this like, it's a bit strange. I have taken the last week very, very easy and not done very much and sort of tried to enjoy myself and just let the moment soak in. But at the same time, there's also something strange about like, training and racing is like normal for me. And this last week has been so crazy that sort of getting back into a tiny bit of normal life has been, I don't know, kind of nice for me, just to, but yeah, I mean, as you said, it is my career. So there's lots of opportunities now, especially that I've won the Olympics. And so, I've got to take them while I can because things can change really quickly. So,
Well, they won't change for the next 3 years. You will be the Olympic champion at least till then.
You're right. I know. I feel like I'm getting a little shortchanged though with just the 3 years. But
We should petition for the extra year of championship there.
Now, before the Olympics, you had talked a little bit about retiring. How does being Olympic champion change your future plans, if anything?
Oh yeah, I know. Well, before the Olympics, I was talking about maybe retiring from this like short course and going more into 70.3. But yeah, I guess a couple of things have like changed that. One, yes, winning the Olympics does change that. And then two, last year being COVID, we didn't get to race much. So I kind of feel like I still have more to give to the short course racing. I'm still really enjoying it. And yeah, so I don't know. I'll have to see. It's like too soon to say, but I'm definitely, before Tokyo, I was 100% no to Paris, and now I'm less 100% no to Paris. So
Maybe
also, I mean, Don, we marveled at that mixed tri relay situation, and you will know that we had a 5th place Commonwealth Games mixed tri team from Bermuda. So, I mean, if you want to come back, maybe we start in Birmingham.
Yeah. Yes, definitely going to start next year in Birmingham at the Commonwealth Games for the mixed team relay and racing individual. But yeah, that'll be so fun. Like, I actually saw Tyler Butterfield last night, which was a very emotional moment. I cried so much seeing him and hearing about him watching the race and thoughts and, everything. But 2018 Commonwealth Games, having Tyler Smith, Tyler Butterfield, Erica Hawley there was just so fun. And I just really loved that experience. And of course, racing the mixed team relay was a lot of fun. So hopefully we can repeat that in 2022. Yeah, next year. And then, yeah, maybe build off that and get a team qualified for the Olympics in 2024, which would be amazing.
So tell us, where is your medal going in your house?
That's a good question. It's right next to me at the moment.
Show and tell.
So it's right. Yeah,
that's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy, but yeah, it's very, very nice. I'm not really sure. Maybe I'll put it next to my Commonwealth one. I haven't really.
Do you have like a trophy room in your house?
Yeah, we do. It's a little bit strange. I'm not really sure what you do with like a Olympic medal. Do you display it?
No, you wear it.
Weird.
You wear it every day.
Yeah. Well, I think it's got to come with me to a lot of places in the next few months. So it'll probably find its permanent home after it does its like tour.
Right. Everyone's going to want to watch and see, have you draped around your neck as you go from place to place.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's very heavy, so I don't wear it. I don't like to wear it for too long.
Now, the buzzy question that a lot of Bermudians want to know is, when are you going to be home, hopefully, so that we can all congratulate you in person?
Yeah, I know. I'm really looking forward to coming home. I know that the BOA, I think the Minister of Sport, and even Dan, he's included in this too, are communicating and planning something and figuring out the best time that works to come back. But yeah, with my Canada races that I have in the next 2-3 weeks, it made it a bit tight to come back now. So hopefully not too distant future, not too many extra weeks. I don't know. Hopefully soon.
It could be a good birthday celebration, aren't you? You're an end of September baby, right?
End of September, yeah. So we need to look at all the logistics and figure it out. COVID also adds one extra complication, of course. So yeah, but hopefully soon, because I would love to come home.
Yeah,
we can't wait to have you home.
Picture the people all around the airport as you come out.
Oh gosh.
And people lining the roads as you come out. It would just be really an emotional.
I know. I've got to wrap up.
So now you said you're going to be a little bit more relaxed when you go to Edmonton, and the other race is in where else in Canada? Where's
Montreal?
Montreal.
Yeah, Montreal and Edmonton. Yeah.
Right. So everyone's obviously going to be picking you as the favorite since you're the Olympic champion. Do you feel like there's going to be more pressure on you, or you feel like, now I got my Olympic medal, doesn't matter? Well, it does matter, but it doesn't matter.
She's going to win. That's what
yeah, I think it kind of does or it doesn't. I think for me, I've accomplished everything I've wanted to in the sport. So now it's just, I get to race for fun for myself. And I think it's a great opportunity to be in a place where I can compete for a world title and not be super stressed about it. So it's like I think, a really cool place to race from, and something I'm quite excited for. So, I mean, it doesn't mean I'm going to not want to win. I mean, I definitely do.
Has the Triathlon Association talked about maybe holding some special events for you over the course of the next year, maybe you've already inspired people, but where the youngsters, maybe like when you were 7 and first starting out, that they can actually meet you, and maybe we'll get an Olympic champion out of this next group?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. No one's mentioned it to me before, but I mean, of course, there is the World Triathlon event in October in Bermuda, and of course, I will definitely be there for that. And I'm sure that there's kids triathlon events around that. So I will, be in and around, and would love to meet as many people as possible and hope to inspire them. Because that's how I started, right? I was 8 years old or 7 years old and did the Iron Kids Triathlon, which is still going on today. And here we are many, many years later.
Now, I know we promised you 30 minutes, and it's 30 minutes right now. Couture, do you have any final things you want to ask?
I just want to say how proud we all are of you. Obviously, we met in Melbourne in 2006. Yeah. She was a pipsqueak, a brand new competitor on that Commonwealth Games stage, and it was my very last one. So, to see the growth from 2006 all the way through to 2021, I mean, it's been an honor and a privilege to know you and to watch this journey from a teammate perspective, but then also, I mean, being your chef de mission and from an administrator part, I mean, it's just, you are so inspirational to each one of us, older than you and younger than you. So, I mean, you've done something that no Bermudian has done before. And watching, I sent Flora a picture the other day, Dawn, about one of my friend's sons had a cookie with her picture on it, and he refused to bite into her face. He just wouldn't do it. So he's got this cookie, and it's that stuff, Flora, like it's such a huge, monumental occasion for all of us. And I know this is your win, and you've been so gracious with sharing it with Bermuda and saying it's also Bermuda's win. It feels like we all won gold. So we are blessed to have you. We are so glad. You're such a gift to the country and to the sporting world. So, keep it up, and we love you.
So much. I mean, I'm so glad after the disappointing performance you had in Beijing and you almost quit, that you decided to stick it out and persevere. And then, of course, London was a bit disappointing with the crash. But we were all rooting for you in Rio, and while you didn't make the podium, it was exciting to see you leading the race there on the bike for a bit, and just seeing you on top of the podium after podium the last 4-5 years now because of the Olympic cycle. So, from all of Bermuda, we just want to congratulate you and just hope bask in the glow from you and your gold medal.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you both so much for the really kind words. And thank you to Katura for, I know you do a lot of work behind the scenes for the BOA, and I'm very appreciative of that. Thank you for always having my back.
My pleasure.
And just thank you so much. It's, a very proud moment for me, and I'm glad it can be shared, a very proud moment for Bermuda.
We're so happy to have you tonight. To our Bermudian audience, on behalf of Katura Horton Parent Chief and myself, Don Burgess, and we are just thrilled. I'm getting some of that beaming face that you've had, that perma smile last Monday. We want to wish everyone a very beautiful evening.